So the big question is this. How entrepreneurs like us who have been breaking with old beliefs, like the idea of holding a 9-to-5 job and living paycheck to paycheck, taking a lifetime to reach business and life success as the only option we have? How do we grow our business in a way that lets us highly service our customers, getting our products and services and the things that we believe in out into the world without diluting our life but enhancing it and taking the journey of internal and external growth? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Your host is Marina Simon, and welcome to 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again.
Happy Thanksgiving Day, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. So, today I went running. I'm on the East Coast and it's just a beautiful scenery. The leaves are almost gone, but the ones that are on are all golden, reddish, yellowish. It's just beautiful. I saw a couple of deer on the way. I saw a squirrel, all kinds of beautiful parts of nature. So today I decided to do a special chapter on Thanksgiving, right? As a Mexican, that lives in the United States, I want to find out, what's Thanksgiving? What are the history part of Thanksgiving? So I want to share this with you. All right. So the first Thanksgiving. Native Americans and early settlers gave thanks together with this historic feast. On the fourth Thursday of November, people in the United States celebrate Thanksgiving. Now it's a national holiday honoring early settlers and Native Americans who came together to have this, historic harvest feast. Now, Native Americans, long before settlers came to the East Coast of the United States, the area was inhabited by many Native American tribes. The area surrounding the site of the first Thanksgiving was known as the southeastern Massachusetts and eastern Rhode Island, right? So those were the two areas that were the first geographic areas that celebrate Thanksgiving, Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Has been the home of the Wampanoag people. Those are the tribes, for over 12,000 years, guys, and had been visited by other European settlers before the arrival of the Mayflower in 1620. Remember, the Mayflower was this huge ship. The native people knew the land well and had finished, I repeat that, the native people knew the land well and had fished, hunted, and harvested for thousands of generations. The settlers, the people who comprised the Plymouth colony, were a group of English Protestants called Puritans who wanted to break away from the Church of England, right? So there was the Church of England and there was this group of Puritans that wanted to break away from them, right? Remember, these guys were leaving from England and coming and settling the United States. These separatists, on quotation, initially moved to Holland. But after 12 years of financial problems, they received funding from English merchants to sail across the Atlantic Ocean in 1620 to settle in the New World, on quotations, right? Which is America, carrying 101 men, women, and children. Wow, 101 people, guys. The Mayflower traveled the ocean for 66 days and was supposed to land where New York City is now located, right? Ellis Island. But windy conditions forced the group to cut their trip short and settle at what is now Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Have you seen that little ending of, of the Cape? Is the Cape Cod. So 101 people travel on the Mayflower. I didn't know that. All right, settling and exploring. As the Puritans prepared for winter, they gathered anything they could find, including Wampanoag supplies, which is this American tribe. One day, Samoset, which is the name of the leader of now a different kind of tribe, the Abenaki people, and the Tisquantum, better known as Squanto, visited the settlers. Now, you have to know, these are names of American tribes, right? Samoset was the name of the leader, Abenaki people, and Tisquantum, which are better known as Squanto. Okay, so these guys came and visited these 101 settlers, right? Squanto was a Wampanoag who had experience with other settlers and knew English. So this guy knew a little bit of English. Squanto, this guy, helped the settlers grow corn and use fish to fertilize their fields. Imagine that. So fish and corn can fertilize fields. After several meetings, a formal agreement was made between the settlers, you know, the English people that were coming to America, and the native people. And in March 1621, they joined together to protect each other from other tribes. Interesting. The celebration. One day that fall, 4 settlers were sent to hunt for food for a harvest celebration. The Wampanoag heard gunshots and alerted the leader, which name was Massasoit, who thought the English might be preparing for war. Like, what's happening, right? Massasoit visited the English settlement with 90 of his men to see the war rumor was true, right? Came up to protect them. 90 men he brought, right? Soon after their visit, the Native Americans realized that the English were only hunting for the harvest celebration. So it was the settlers that were shooting these guys, the animals, right? Massasoit sent some of his own men to hunt deer for the feast. And for 3 days, the English and native men, women and children ate together. So that's why Thanksgiving, and I get emotional about it. That's why Thanksgiving is so important for, the American people. Unfortunately, with times like this, that we have been kind of forced to be separated out, is violating that main tradition, but it's meant to get together. This is a great day to take a look at really what are their purposes as inhabitants of this planet? What are their purposes as United States citizens or, people living in this beautiful country? So we're meant to be together, guys, no matter the differences, no matter genetics, no matter color of your skin, no matter your religion, no matter your political affiliations. It's meant to be together. And why is that important? We the people, and we have the power as long as we're together. And if we create a life based on ethics and what is right for the majority of the people, we will be right. And we will create a life that is a win-win for everybody else. So, I'll continue with the story. For those that know the story, forgive me for this chapter, but I didn't know specifics on it, and I found this pretty interesting. So, the meal consisted of deer, corn, shellfish, and roasted meat, different from today's traditional Thanksgiving feast. They played games, sang, and danced. So check this out. It was deer that they eat, corn, shellfish. I never knew they eat shellfish, and roasted meat. Although prayers and thanks were probably offered at the 1621 harvest gathering, the first recorded religious Thanksgiving Day in Plymouth happened 2 years later in 1623. So the first one was 1621, but the first religious Thanksgiving happened 2 years later, 1623. On this occasion, the colonies gave thanks to God for rain after 2 months' drought. The myths. Puritans are often thought of having silver buckles on their shoes and wearing somber black clothing. Their attire was actually bright and cheerful, with no shoe buckles, right? The Native Americans actually didn't wear woolen blankets on their shoulders and large feather headdress, even though some artworks portray it like this. Have you realized that, the paintings? And though today we might refer to the Puritans as quote-unquote pilgrims, the Englishmen didn't call themselves that. All right? Now, Native Americans and Thanksgiving. The peace between the Native Americans and settlers lasted for only a generation. The Wampanoag people do not share in the popular reverence for the traditional New England Thanksgiving. For them, the holiday is a reminder of betrayal and bloodshed. Since 1970, many Native people have gathered at the statue of Massasoit in Plymouth. There was a statue done for this guy. In Massachusetts, each Thanksgiving they remember their ancestors and the strength of the Wampapog. Now, what is the modern Thanksgiving? In the 19th century, the modern Thanksgiving holiday started to take shape. In 1846, Sarah Josepha Hale was the editor of a magazine called Goody's Lady Book, campaigned for an annual national Thanksgiving holiday. But it wasn't until 1863 when President Abraham Lincoln declared two national Thanksgiving. One in August to commemorate the Battle of Gettysburg during the Civil War, and the other one in November to give thanks for general blessings. It is the second one that we celebrate today. Guys and my beautiful friends, I hope you're having a beautiful day. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. I hope you're having a very, very special day. It is the history that we celebrate when we come together as a group. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're in South Africa, if you're in Brussels, if you're in Latin America, if you're in China, if you're in Russia, if you're in the United States or Canada or Alaska. I want to send you all my love on this special day, today, that we celebrate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for being and having an amazing health. I hope you have an amazing time with your family and a lot of love. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving Day.
Thanks for joining us today on 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again. We love always hearing from you. Please feel free to send Marina an email, marina@marinasimonbrand.com. Your input and comments are always welcome, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you like the podcast, you can always subscribe to it. Remember, the best way to predict the future is to create it.